15 July 2024 আৰু আজি আমাৰ প্ৰথমটো টপিক হ'ল harnessing Brahmaputra's potential. Now in this article, the recent tragic event in Brahmaputra regarding collapse of the dike system etc. has been discussed, and also the different potential of the river Brahmaputra regarding international relation, regarding trade, regarding economy, regarding culture etc. has been discussed. Okay. Now, in the recent collapse of the Hatimura dike, okay, echoing a tragic incident in 2017, which underscores the urgent need for immediate action to prevent such disasters. Now, there is a need for certain actions. Now, in this article, various aspects regarding some decisive steps have been discussed, such as initiate comprehensive dredging, the launch extensive dredging operation across the Brahmaputra and its tributaries to lower the river bed levels, improve drainage, and ensure river navigation. Now, যিহেতু ব্ৰহ্মপুত্ৰৰ যেতিয়া অসমত প্ৰৱেশ কৰে সেইখিনি সময়ত গ্ৰেডিয়েণ্টটো বহুত হাই হয়, ইয়াতে চিলটেশ্যন আৰু ইৰেজন বহুত বেছি হয়, ৰাইট, আৰু সেইটো কাৰণে ৰিভাৰ বেডখিনি লাহে লাহে ওখ হ'বলৈ আৰম্ভ কৰে। নাও যদি এইখিনি ড্ৰেজিং কৰা নাযায়, দেন হোৱাট হেপেন, ইয়াৰ বহুত চাইডে যিখিনি ৰিজন আছে তাতে ফ্লাডৰ এটা ডিজাষ্টাৰ আৰু লগতে ব্ৰেকিং আউট এম্বেংকমেণ্টছ এটচেট্ৰা, তেনেকৈ ডাইক চিষ্টেম কলাপছ এটচেট্ৰা হোৱা চান্সেছ বহুত বেছি থাকে। চ' দেয়াৰ ইজ এ নিড ফৰ কম্প্ৰিহেনচিভ ড্ৰেজিং। নেক্সটটো হ'ল দ্য ষ্ট্ৰেংথেন ইনফ্ৰাষ্ট্ৰাকচাৰ, ৰিএনফ'ৰ্চ এক্সিষ্টিং বাঞ্চ এণ্ড কনষ্ট্ৰাক্ট ৰেজিলিয়েণ্ট ইনফ্ৰাষ্ট্ৰাকচাৰ। নাও এইখিনি ক্ষেত্ৰত আছাম গভৰ্ণমেণ্টে they have decided to start 5 construction school and certification য'ত disaster resilience যিখিনি আৰ্কিটেকচাৰ আছে, যিখিনি ইনফ্ৰাষ্ট্ৰাকচাৰ আছে, সেইখিনিৰ কাৰণে কিছুমান ট্ৰেইনিং দিয়া হ'ব, চাৰ্টিফিকেশ্যন দিয়া হ'ব, আৰু লগতে লাষ্টটো হ'ল ইমপ্লিমেণ্ট ইণ্টিগ্ৰেটেড মেনেজমেণ্ট, যিটো ৱৰ্ল্ড বেংকৰ আণ্ডাৰ অলৰেডি ব্ৰহ্মপুত্ৰৰ ওপৰত কাম চলি আছে। নাও ইন দ্য য়েষ্টাৰডে আৰ্টিকল অলছ' in another article, the need for dredging was spoken about, but তাতে কোৱা হৈছিল যে ড্ৰেজিং গোটেইখিনি কৰিব পৰা নাযায়, যিহেতু ড্ৰেজিং কৰাৰ পিছত যিখিনি এৰিয়া ড্ৰেজ কৰা হয় তাতে চিলটেশ্যন বহুত সোনকালে হয়। অ'কে, নাও ৰিভাৰ বেড ছাৰ্ভে আৰু কোনখিনি জেগাত ড্ৰেজিঙৰ দৰকাৰ আছে এটচেট্ৰা, ত' দ'জ আৰ নিডেড। নাও ইন দিছ আৰ্টিকল দেয়াৰ আৰ ভেৰিয়াছ পটেঞ্চিয়েল অলছ' হেজ বিন ডিছকাছ ৰিগাৰ্ডিং ব্ৰহ্মপুত্ৰ ৰিভাৰ, ছাচ এজ the global cooperation. The Brahmaputra flows through multiple countries, including China, India, Bangladesh, etc. So, international relation ক্ষেত্ৰত diplomatic cooperation, which can be fostered to manage the river water resources effectively. Next, navigation and trade. যিহেতু ব্ৰহ্মপুত্ৰ national waterway 2, right? তো more than 20 districts টাচ কৰে, সেইটো কাৰণে ট্ৰেডৰ ক্ষেত্ৰত আৰু লগত ইকনমিক ক্ষেত্ৰত আমাৰ যিখিনি ৱাটাৰৱে আছে সেইখিনি ইমপ্লিমেণ্টৰ পৰা আমাৰ ভালেখিনি ইকনমিক বেনিফিট হোৱা চান্সেছ আছে। নেক্সটটো হ'ল ইণ্ডিয়া কেন ৱৰ্ক উইথ ইটছ নেইবাৰ্ছ টু ইম্প্ৰুভ দ্য ৰিভাৰ ট্ৰান্সপৰ্ট ফেচিলিটিজ, ষ্ট্ৰীমলাইন কাষ্টম প্ৰচিডিউৰ এটচেট্ৰা। এইটো ক্ষেত্ৰত অলৰেডি লাষ্ট ইয়াৰ IBPৰ ইণ্ডিয়া বাংলাদেশ প্ৰট'কল ৰুট উইথ বাংলাদেশ আমাৰ আৰম্ভ হৈছে। অ'কে, দেন এনভাইৰমেণ্টেল কনজাৰ্ভেশ্যন। ব্ৰহ্মপুত্ৰ বেচিন ইজ ইকলজিকেলি ডাইভাৰ্ছ আৰু ৰিচ ইন বায়'ডাইভাৰ্চিটি। ইয়াত গাংগেটিক ডলফিন পোৱা যায়, বিভিন্ন প্ৰকাৰৰ মাছ পোৱা যায় এটচেট্ৰা, ৰাইট। দেন ডিজাষ্টাৰ মেনেজমেণ্ট, গিভেন ইটছ প্ৰপেনচিটি টু ফ্লাডিং, জইণ্ট এফৰ্টছ আৰ নিডেড ফৰ ডিজাষ্টাৰ মেনেজমেণ্ট। দেন কালচাৰেল ডিপ্ল'মেচি, যিহেতু ৰিভাৰৰ পৰা কাল্টিভেশ্যনৰ পৰা কালচাৰ গ্ৰ' হয়, দ্য ব্ৰহ্মপুত্ৰ ৰিভাৰ হোল্ডছ কালচাৰেল চিগনিফিকেঞ্চ ফৰ মেনি ট্ৰাইবছ এণ্ড মেনি পিপল ফ্ৰম দ্য আদাৰ ষ্টেটছ অলছ'। তো কালচাৰেল এক্সচেঞ্জ ইনিচিয়েটিভছ can be promoted through the External Affairs Ministry and research and education. The collaborative projects and educational exchange related to Brahmaputra Basin can be facilitated. So it can promote knowledge-based sharing. So definitely India's foreign relations ক্ষেত্ৰত, India's trader ক্ষেত্ৰত, its region to economic ক্ষেত্ৰত, etc. Brahmaputra has many potential, given us many potential. So we should harness the Brahmaputra's potential to uplift the economy, to make use of the soft diplomacy, etc. So it's a very important article for mains perspective and also certain aspect for prelims perspective. Next to whole, India needs economic growth that is relatable to every individual. Now in a global counterterrorism council, the recently Dhankar, okay, Vice President Jagdish Dhankar, he has spoken about India's needs economic growth that is equal to every individual. So যেতিয়া every individual ওচৰত আমাৰ economic growthৰ যিখিনি outcome আহিবলৈ আৰম্ভ কৰে, it becomes a inclusive growth. Okay, now as per OECD, Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, inclusive growth is economic growth that is distributed fairly across society and creates opportunities for all. Similarly, UNDP described this the process and outcomes where all groups of people have participated in growth and have benefited equitably. Now, India has witnessed higher economic growth recently, but unfortunately, it did not convert into inclusive growth for all. For example, various reports such as Oxfam report, etc., has spoken about the main distribution of the resources towards the rich. This is evident from the fact that since the 10 5-year plan, the theme of planning in India has been inclusive growth. Now GDP. India's GDP growth rate has been fluctuating over the years because of many reasons, such as 2016, the rate was 8.2%, but later due to COVID pandemic, it slowed down to 4%. Now again, recently, 2021-22, the growth rate has started 9.5%, and now it is around 8%. Now growth is there, but we need development. Now for development, the various sector, for example, MSME. MSME কি হয় কাৰণে because MSME maximum খিনি rural area আছে. It has a potential to bring growth and development towards the rural area. Now যদি আমি কওঁ dimension of inclusive growth, social dimension কি হ'ব পাৰে, education, healthcare, skilling, gender parity. Economic dimension হ'ব পাৰে financial literacy, inclusion, agriculture development, quality employment, skill, etc. Political development, long-term perspective and planning, safe borders, zero corruption, environmental aspects such as reduction of wastage, sustainable development, protection of flora and fauna, and stakeholders, government, private sector, citizens, civil society, development agencies such as NGO, etc. Now, inclusive growth is a very important topic for GS3. GS3 means important hobo. Also, prelims ক্ষেত্ৰত Global Counter-Terrorism Council, which we will study tomorrow. Okay, prelims important hobo. Okay. Now, next topic is Prime Minister's Surya Ghar Muft Bijli Yojana. Okay. Now, it has spoken about boosting solar entrepreneurship in Assam. Now, the Prime Minister's Surya Ghar Muft Bijli Yojana, it has created a promising environment for entrepreneurs looking to venture into solar energy market. যেহেতু গভৰ্ণমেণ্টে নতুনকৈ EV পলিচি আৰম্ভ কৰিছে, সোলাৰ পলিচি, দেন চিফ মিনিষ্টাৰ সোলাৰ স্কিম এটচেট্ৰা আৰম্ভ কৰিছে, তো ইয়াতে আমাৰ এতিয়া ইকনমিক গ্ৰ'থৰ ক্ষেত্ৰত, ইকনমিক প্ৰফিটৰ ক্ষেত্ৰত ভালেখিনি স্ক'প আছে. সেইকাৰণে এণ্টাৰপ্ৰিনাৰ্ছৰ কাৰণে ভায়া দিছ স্কিম দেয়াৰ মেনি অপৰচুনিটিজ. Government initiative aims to provide free electricity to households through solar power installation, significantly reducing the installation cost through subsidies and financial incentives. Now, entrepreneurs can establish business specializing in the installation, maintenance, and support of these systems. Why? Because already schemes are there and finances are there in this aspect. Government commitment to cover a significant portion of the installation cost makes solar energy accessible to broader audience. Okay. Additionally, there is an increased need for solar equipment such as panels, inverters, battery, etc. Entrepreneurs can capitalize on this demand. Now, this data is important for means perspective. The Assam's high solar installation with an average range of 4 to 5.5 kilowatt-hour provides an excellent foundation for solar energy generation. যিহেতু আমাৰ নেশ্যনেল এভাৰেজৰ অলমষ্ট সমানেই আছে solar installation, সেইটো কাৰণে ইয়াৰ পটেঞ্চিয়েলটো ডেফিনেটলি ভাল হয়. The natural advantage coupled with the state's growing energy demand due to urbanization and industrialization enhances the market potential for the solar entrepreneurs. Now, অসমৰ আমি অলৰেডি জানো যে around 2600 megawatt per day আমাৰ ডিমাণ্ড আছে, whereas our production of electricity is around 300 megawatt only. Now, government in the recent years has installed around 175 gigawatt potential of solar panels. Now, তাৰ পৰা জেনেৰেট হ'ব কাৰণে সময় লাগিব, ৰাইট? তো ডেফিনেটলি যিহেতু আসাম গভৰ্ণমেণ্টৰ সোলাৰ পলিচি আহিছে, আসাম গভৰ্ণমেণ্টৰ সোলাৰ স্কিম আহিছে, এলং উইথ ডেট প্ৰাইম মিনিষ্টাৰ সূৰ্যা ঘৰ মুফ্ট বিজলী যোজনা, ইয়াতে in this region the solar entrepreneurs will have many opportunities. The next topic is about defense export. Now this is important because অসমত এতিয়া after the semiconductor industry, the defense industry potential বহুত থকা বুলি কৈ থকা হৈছে. India's client base spans over 85 countries, with notable purchasers being Italy, Maldives, Russia, Sri Lanka, UAE, Philippines, Saudi Arabia, Poland, Egypt, Israel, Spain, etc. Now, India's defense exports have seen a remarkable rise, increasing from 686 crore in 2013-14 to record 21,083 crore in 2024. The government of India aims to reach 35,000 crore in annual defense exports by 2024-25, with further expansion to 50,000 crore by 2020-29. আৰু যিহেতু গভৰ্ণমেণ্টে ইয়াতে অলৰেডি ইম্পেচাছ দি আছে, পুছ কৰি আছে ফৰ দ্য ডিফেন্স ইণ্ডাষ্ট্ৰী, তো হেভিং ওৱান ইন দ্য আছাম উইল ডেফিনেটলি বেনিফিট দ্য ৰিজন. Okay, so the data are important for means perspective. The next topic is about climate change disrupting education outcomes as per UNESCO report. Now, global education monitoring report. Climate-related stress factors such as heat, wildfires, floods, droughts, disease, rising sea level, etc., affecting the educational outcomes and threatening to undo educational gains in the recent decade. As per the report compiled by UNESCO, monitoring and evaluating climate competition in education project and University in Canada has pointed out that most low and middle income countries are experiencing climate related school closure every year. In the last 20 years, schools were closed in at least 75% of the extreme weather events, impacting 5 million people or more. And increasingly frequent natural disasters will have greater effect. So important hoy GS2 karone and also for GS impact of climate change and disaster. Now the report is important for business perspective. Now this is the judgment, Supreme Court judgment on disability. Bahut important hoy, picture with dignity. On 8th July, Supreme Court of India delivered a landmark judgment outlining a framework for representation of persons with disabilities in visual media. Now it has spoken about guidelines for representation of person with disabilities, which is known as the 9-point guidelines. The Supreme Court issued 9-point guidelines to ensure sensitive portrayal of person with disabilities in visual media. Now the ruling was in the response to an appeal against Delhi High Court's verdict concerning the movie 𝐼𝐴𝐻𝐿. Okay. Now in this aspect, human rights model of disability. Now the Supreme Court emphasized the human rights model of disability, which goes beyond the traditional social and medical models. The medical model views disability as medical condition within an individual, while the social model identifies a disability in societal institution structures. The human rights model, embedded in the international human rights law, views disability as a natural part of human diversity and recognizes personal disability as rights holders, whose inclusion in society must be ensured. Now it has spoken about another concept, that is the positive obligation. The human rights model places a positive obligation on government and private entities to facilitate the effective participation of the person with disabilities. The extent of private bodies' obligations under the Right of Person with Disability Act has been debated. In the Vikas Kumar judgment, the Supreme Court acknowledged these obligations but also recognized their limitations in the current case. Now here, Supreme Court has spoken about first thing the 9-point guidelines. Second thing here, the human rights model of disability, different from the medical model and social model, and also it has spoken about the positive obligation on governments and the private entities. Iyar bahire, in the judgment, it has spoken about the creative freedom which comes from Article 19. আৰু লগতে ইয়াৰ যিখিনি reasonable restriction আছে under Article 19 Clause 2. Now, creative freedom, Supreme Court stated that the creative freedom doesn't include the freedom to lampoon, stereotype, misrepresent or disparage marginalized groups. The intention and overall message of a film are crucial in determining whether it perpetuates the stereotypes. Now, key stereotypes and additional barrier. The stereotypes play a significant role in perpetuating additional barrier against persons with disabilities. The court said that the stereotypes operationalize discrimination and undermine the dignity of individuals protected under Article 21. So, Article 19 perspective regarding Article 19 Clause 1 Subclause A, freedom of speech and expression, and also Article 19 Clause 2, য'ত আমাৰ reasonable restriction খিনি আছে, তাৰ লগতে Article 21, right to life with dignity. Okay. ইয়াৰ বাহিৰে it has also spoken about various dimensions such as cinematic speech, hate speech, and group defamation. Supreme Court distinguished between cinematic speech, hate speech, and group defamation law. Hate speech marginalizes the individual based on group membership, often leading to hatred or violence. Group defamation, akin to individual defamation, targets a specific group, perpetuating stereotypes and discrimination. And in the context of speech analysis, court said that court employed a context of speech analysis, focusing on the impact of human dignity and identity. The speaker targeting the linguistic connotation. The expressions targeting marginalized communities and reinforcing prejudices are not protected under the Article 19 Clause 1 Subclause A. Now, Article 19 or various aspects, freedom of speech and expression, the reasonable restrictions and different type of restrictions such as creative freedom, restriction on creative freedom based on morality, etc. আৰু তাৰ লগতে various dimensions such as the human rights model, policy obligation, 9-point guidelines has been discussed. This article is very important for DCI, UPSC Mains, APSC Mains also, and for the upcoming prelims also regarding the judgments. So this is all about today's current affairs. We will again meet tomorrow. Thank you.